Hi, this is Anthony Anderson from ANACASTIA, the web series. I'm reporting for We Love Soaps TV here in my hometown of Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian, where today, daytime television finally got its due as luminaries such as Susan Lucci, Alex Trebek, Phil and Kathy Parker from Barney all were here to announce plans for an exhibit recognizing the best in daytime television. And this is what we found.
Couple more? Couple more shots?
Perfect.
Okay, and we invite you all to join us inside.
The objects you have all donated here today will allow us to bring these memories back to the American public.
Anthony Anderson for We Love Soaps, standing here with soap opera legend, diva. So many adjectives can describe this woman. Emmy Award winner, the amazing, the incomparable, Susan Lucci, Erica Kane. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, thank you. Couldn't be better.
I just want to start off this interview by saying what a huge fan that I am personally of yours for so many years and the adventures of Erica Kane. I have to say, how honored are you that daytime, especially daytime dramas, that sometimes a lot of people don't feel as though they get the proper respect that they should, is now being inducted into the Smithsonian. How happy does that have to make you?
You're exactly right. I am so thrilled. There really aren't words. I said in my remarks, Agnes and I knew because the public was embracing us in such a way that had never been done before. And VH1 and MTV and Barbara Walters, all of them, all the fans, all the viewers, letting us know that we were indeed part of American culture. As I said, that gentleman who came through on my book tour and said, Susan, they tell us that cotton is the fabric of our lives, but really it's all my children. We knew it. The public knew it. But how spectacular that the Smithsonian, which is as high as you get in our American consciousness of American culture.
Absolutely.
That they are honoring the legacy of daytime television.
Absolutely.
Thrilled.
Now, I could not be a true All My Children fan without asking you the question that I'm sure you've been asked 3 million times since everything has gone to the web. Will Erica Kane be making an appearance in Pine Valley while All My Children is now on the web?
I hope so. I'm trying, and they are trying. There's a lot to work out simply because when they went into production, I was in Atlanta working on the new Mark Cherry series, Devious Maids, and now I'm about to start season 2 on my investigation discovery series, Deadly Affairs, next week in New York. So that's a lot of complicated scheduling. Plus, All My Children's schedule is also complicated and challenging because they work 5 weeks on and 5 weeks off. So trying to marry those two things, that's what the challenge is, and that's what we're going to try to make happen.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of Devious Maids, congratulations on working with Mark Cherry, who is, the upper echelon of television right now. Tell us a little bit about your character from Devious Maids.
Well, I love the character I play. I play Geneviève de la Tour.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And when I read the script, I was in New York and Mark was in LA, and I wasn't sure how he would pronounce it. And when I went to LA to audition for Mark, in our first remarks, he said, well, Geneviève, and he started to give me his vision. And I said, oh, Mark, I am so thrilled that you're calling her Geneviève. And inside I was thinking, for me to have been playing Erica Kane, which was such a fabulous name.
Right.
Oh, to have the character be named Geneviève de la Tour, I thought, yes. Oh, that sounds right. That feels right.
Right.
And plus, it spoke to the character, who's very romantic. Different than Erica. She has been married several times. She has, as Mark described her, she's a woman who has been married a number of times, has attracted one powerful, wealthy man after another, living in Beverly Hills. This has been her life. But right now, she's not married, and she's not thinking that maybe she's that attractive anymore, and it's driving her really a little crazy. And so she's not feeling secure, and she has mood swings, and but there's an innocence about her too, except that sometimes she self-medicates. So there's a lot of twists and turns, and there are surprises in every single character.
Wow.
No cliches.
Wow.
Every one of the girls, these wonderful wonderful Latina actresses who are gorgeous and so talented. Every one of them is multidimensional. Every one of us who are the Beverly Hills household owners, we are also very multidimensional. So it's as good as it gets.
Classic Mark Shirley television.
Yes.
Now, Miss Jean Cooper, may she rest in peace. What was your fondest memory of Jean Cooper?
Oh, I have a number of fond memories. All fond memories of Jean Cooper, first of all. I only learned of her passing last night on the red carpet in New York at Lincoln Center. I had no idea. Anyway, I remember her as so warm, so charming, so down to earth, so accessible, generous, elegant, talented. Every time I met her.
Daytime plays a very important part in the lives of Americans everywhere. A lot of folks are shut-ins. A lot of folks are employed, and so they watch television during the day. And they get to live vicariously through the soaps, of course, and they get to live vicariously through some of the game shows because they say, hey, that lady is a stenographer, and I'm a stenographer, and she's doing well. Isn't that nice? And I think daytime television is feel-good television. It's instructive, certainly for children because of the children's programs we have. It's fun to watch other individuals suffering and dealing with difficult situations. There are a number of legal-type shows on the air now. Judge Judy, the most prominent one, I suppose. Years and years ago, there was only the People's Court and Judge Joe Wapner, but now Judy seems to be the top dog, if you will. And she's resolving situations that ordinary folks encounter all the time. And that's interesting and exciting for the viewers. And of course, the game shows and the quiz shows, as I've said many, many times, the best kind of reality television.
Out of all the years of Jeopardy, what has been the most memorable contestant that you can remember from all the years of doing Jeopardy?
Probably Ken Jennings, because he won so many shows in a row. He was on for 4 months. He won 74 shows in a row. I don't think that record will ever be broken.
I'm actually one of the co-creators of Barney the Dinosaur, and my husband was the original lyricist and composer.
Yes. How incredible is this day for you to be inducted into the Smithsonian, to have your work as, I mean, this is going to be for forever.
For perpetuity, absolutely.
For perpetuity. I mean, that has to give you some pride, which is undescribable.
Absolutely. I have goosebumps as you're saying it right now. I mean, it's hard to process, actually, but it's just an honor, and we are thrilled, and I cannot wait to come in the future with our hopefully grandchildren at some point to be able to share this experience.
I mean, it's a humbling experience, and we're honored to be a part of it.
Did you ever think at the originality of Barney that one day Barney would be in the Smithsonian?
No, absolutely. That was not even on our radar. The radar for the greatest dream at that point was to have Barney on television. But for this opportunity, what a lifetime gift. So we are thrilled.
And also the first song that I ever wrote, with my wife being one of the key decision makers, played her the first song, which I thought was great, and she says, "That's not even close." So it all evolved over a period of time.
Yes.
Had pretty humble beginnings.
The everlasting joy that Barney is bringing to kids, what do you attribute that to?
I think you attribute it to Barney's enthusiasm. He clearly emanates love for children, accepting of children, the play, the imagination, all the music, and with real children on the set. It's all of those factors that come together that make Barney such a tremendous appeal to young children and their families.
I would echo that. It's the combination of that many elements.
Did you ever think the Emmys, the daytime Emmys, would be inducted into the Smithsonian?
Oh, there's no question I did. I'm not just making this up, but I did. but it happened sooner than I expected. Really, thanks to Mr. Gray and his staff. But really, this is a great day today.
What a great day it is truly for daytime, for just daytime television, daytime programming in general, which for many, many years has not gotten the proper adulation that it should have gotten. So today must bring you an immense amount of joy.
Oh, it brings me a hell of a lot of joy because when I started CBS back in the 60s, my first assignment was working on Edge of Night.
Wow.
So, and I rotated every show, I worked on every soap. And then I met my wife, who was working on a Thanksgiving Day parade when I was producing it. And that's another daytime event. And then for our wedding, the best man was the executive director of Guiding Light. And who played the organ at our wedding was Charles Paul, who played the organ on Edge of Night, As the World Turns, and he also played at Radio City and the New York Yankee Stadium.
Wow. Now for the Smithsonian to recognize daytime, there had to be a lot that went into it. Can you tell us what some of the process was?
Well, we really look at the American story as inclusive. It's about everybody over time, and it's very important to represent people's lives today and how they see America. And so when you think about it, how many people watch daytime television? It's imperative for us to have collections so we can tell those stories.
Now, this year's Daytime Emmy Awards will be held
in Beverly Hills on June 16th at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. And it'll be broadcast live 5 o'clock Pacific time on HLN.
Now, one last question I have to ask you. With the incorporation of One Life to Live and All My Children now going to the web, how exactly would that play into factor for next year's Emmy Awards?
That was already discussed. Those two categories, those two shows, will fall into the normal soap opera categories like they do right now. It makes no difference what the genre is. And I spoke to Rich Frank yesterday, in fact, and we discussed exactly the same question. That was a very good question, by the way. So so he's excited that not only the shows, but the producers and directors will still fall into the daytime category. Yes.
Now, I don't know about you, but as a daytime viewer, I am pleased and I'm ecstatic that an exhibit in my hometown in Washington, D.C. will be here for people to come see for the rest of their lives. Once again, thank you from We Love Soaps TV. This is Anthony Anderson from ANACASTIA, the web series, and happy viewing.